Welcome back. Stakeholders at the College of Medicine in Ekiti State University are excited at the production of its first set of medical doctors close to 10 years after admission. The provost of the college recalls the neglect of the students by the former administration in the state as he applauds the efforts of Governor Kayode Fayemi at driving the college to its present feat. The results of the final examination conducted for the first set of 43 medical students of the University College of Medicine was released last week with 100% pass recorded with one distinction. Earlier in the year, the students had visited the state governor where he promised to ensure all requirements are met to facilitate the much-needed accreditation for the college.
With this development, the university has produced its first set of medical doctors, close to 10 years after admission into the university. It was a very good result as the students had 100% passes and a distinction in surgery in the final examination. Overall, there were 7 distinctions recorded by the graduating students in all the 4 professional examinations they sat for in the college.
And when you look at our own situation here, when you factor in the fact that the immediate past government actually said it out loud and clear that we were on our own. But despite that, we were able to persuade both the parents to pay special accreditation levies. You know, that together with what the university could actually raise was what helped us through the the third accreditation.
From Ekiti, let's move to Imo State, where Governor Emeka Ihedioha says he is committed to ensuring that Imo emerges as one of the cleanest states in the country under his watch. He mentioned this during the environmental sanitation and cleanup exercise held across the state today. He expressed satisfaction over the compliance and turnout of the indigents for the monthly sanitation exercise.
Residents of Owerri, the Imo State capital, are out on the streets in compliance with an order reinforcing the monthly environmental sanitation exercise. Joining the cleanup exercise is the state governor, Emeka Ihedioha, in the company of the chairman of the Sanitation Implementation Committee, former Governor Ihedioha Akim.
Son of the soil! Son of the soil!
Some residents still find their way to the street in a bid to carry out their daily activities, but security operatives are on ground to restrict movement.
Imo used to be the cleanest state. Owerri used to be the cleanest capital city in our country for 3 years running. Now we pledged on the inauguration that we're going to restore that legacy, and I'm happy we're working towards it. It won't be very easy. We will not achieve it today, but it's obvious that we are taking a lead. We are moving progressively, and by the grace of God, it would help in sanitizing our environment and ensure we have healthier living.
Others commend the initiative of the state government in reinforcing an environment cleanup exercise that experienced a lull over the years.
It's very, very good. I saw it as an improvement of Imo State, because Imo State is very dirty and we need cleanness in Imo State.
The state government says over 400 trucks are available to dispose garbage to designated areas across the state. This cleanup exercise comes up 2 weeks after the state government inaugurated the Committee on Environmental Sanitation, saddled with the responsibility of ensuring Imo returns to its station of the cleanest state in the country. Channels Television News.
And in neighboring Enugu State, some inmates of the maximum prison has chosen music to create mental stability and raise their aspirations. The group, tagged as Reformed, are a set of young men who have acquired some skills in singing and playing musical instruments while they serve their jail time. Our correspondent Nkuruka Ajogu went there and has this report.
This is the Enugu Maximum Prison, the most prominent in the southeastern region. This prison was established in 1915 with a carrying capacity of 638 inmates. Following the increased rate of crime, this prison has since housed over 2,000 inmates who are here for various suspected crimes and sentences. Although prison overcrowding is not a new incident in carceral systems in Nigeria, its consequential damage on well-being and mental health of inmates cannot be overstated. Meet the Reform, a group of inmates in Enugu prison who have taken to music to assuage the effects of confinement on their mental health. Freedom. That is the title of the song composed by some of those inmates who have no music orientation prior to their incarceration. But now they have gained some level of proficiency. They share the inspiration behind the songs.
As the music coming to my mind, so I created the Freedom because I believe nobody is perfect, but I believe that we're in good to the society and we have change in our means.
I will come here, rehearse, teach with people, as my mind will fill with joy. I wouldn't mind that I will just wave the jail away. When I enter my cell, I will keep on rehearsing. That time I will use to think the jail. I will use it to meditate about music. Then it helps me a lot to forget my pains.
The instructors who decided to bring this mini studio described working with these inmates as an experience to savor.
Working with them gives me inspiration. Yes, because most of them, they are so talented.
It has happened once in Africa, but here it's just the first time. So I decided to be part of it.
Former inmate Chukwunonso is the pioneer of the reformed group. He has also taken advantage of prison's academic program to be the 2015 best graduating student of the National Open University, a program he did within the 9 years of his jail term.
I went to the CC cell. It was a cell that cannot contain like 3 good dogs, but we were 12 there. So, 6 will sleep 6 hours from 6 to 12 a.m. Then the other 6 will sleep from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. So I like being the first people that will sleep, so that at the middle of the night I wake up and read. And by the grace of God, I made the overall best result in the country, the whole Nigeria.
We are putting emphasis on correction, and that one area that is vital, present area that is vital for the formation of images, music, education, so that by the time they get this skill, if they are released, they will be able to become good members of society and also become employers.
As they look forward to freedom outside the prison, their big request is for correctional facility to be improved, to meet international standards and reduce increased risk of diseases, violence and horrendous living conditions. Kiruka Ajogu, Channels Television News.
If music be the food of love, play on. Well done, guys. Now let's cross over for some business news now, and Kayode will be telling us about the campaign to make more money for Africa.
Well, that's right, Melinda, and you're welcome to Business News. The President of the African Development Bank, Mr. Akinwumi Adesina, and the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo are leading a campaign for African investors to invest in Africa and curb irregular migration from the continent. At a business meeting with President Felix Tshisekedi in Abuja, Mr. Adesina highlights the urgent need for African leaders to form stronger business ties and unlock the investment opportunities that exist in the continent.
The president of the African Development Bank arrives the venue of the business meeting with the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo in Abuja. It's an investors forum with businessmen and women from around the world. The crux of the discussions here is on the urgent need for African investors to invest in Africa. Participants stressed the importance of leveraging the opportunities that exist in the Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Mr. President, you were part of the strong African president team that signed the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. Your biggest import partners are China, South Africa, Zambia, and Belgium. Here today, we need to change that narrative.
I would like Nigeria to build an effective investment bridge with the Democratic Republic of Congo. Because when you unlock their potential, plus Nigeria's potential, and then Africa will be able to develop, but do so with pride.
Que le monde de demain nous mettra en Afrique.
The president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who addressed the gathering in French, condemned the huge labor force that Africa loses to irregular migration from the continent and calls on African leaders to do everything possible to stop the drift.
Aujourd'hui, le jeune Africain.
When our young people risk their lives in attempt to seek greener pastures outside Africa, we are actually losing very important energy that we need for development. Hence, we must do everything possible to stop the drift.
Pour aller sous d'autres cieux.
According to the International Organization for Migration, there were over 170,000 irregular migrants, mainly of African origin, to Italy in 2014 alone. And between January and April 2015, 21,000 migrants have been reported to have arrived Europe, with an estimated 900 deaths in the Mediterranean Sea. The reason why participants at this meeting are advocating the urgent need for massive investment collaboration among African nations.
At the NSE, the Nigerian stock market continues its downward slide, but this time around hitting two-year lows as sell pressure keeps taking its toll on high-value equities this week. It's also earnings season, and amidst mixed corporate results, the main index declined on all trading days except on Tuesday, when a 1.21% gain was recorded. At the end of the week, the all-share index closed flat at 27,918.59. Analyzing by sectors, losses in the insurance, banking, and oil and gas indices masked gains from the industrial goods and consumer goods indices. 31 equities appreciated in price during the week. This was led by NPF Microfinance Bank, while 29 equities depreciated in price, and top on that list was Linkage Assurance PLC. Meanwhile, a total turnover of 1.06 billion shares worth 11.39 billion naira in 16,346 deals were traded this week by investors. Some civil society organizations in the Federal Capital Territory are asking President Muhammadu Buhari to sign the Federal Audit Service Commission bill. They explained that signing the bill will not only ensure efficient use of public resources, but also improve quality of goods and services delivered to Nigerians through performance audit.
Signing this bill into law will ensure that our public resources are efficiently managed. It will improve the quality of goods and services being delivered to citizens through allowing them to conduct performance audits. And it will also increase citizens' engagement in the audit process and the management of public funds through making the public audit available to all citizens. And it will also provide for first-line charge for the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation and ensure the administrative independence of the office.
Moving outside the country, global ratings agency Fitch has downgraded the outlook for South Africa's sub-investment credit rating, citing fiscal pressures, including increased support for struggling state firms such as the power utility Eskom. Fitch now rates South Africa's debt as BB+, a notch below investment grade with a negative outlook. The government this week proposed giving Eskom 59 billion rand or $4.1 billion of additional financial support over the next 2 years, on top of an already promised bailout of 230 billion rand spread over the next decade. The ratings firm also forecasts the consolidated general government deficit will widen to 6.3% of gross domestic product in the current fiscal year from 4.2% last year. Meanwhile, South Africa's National Treasury says it is aware of the strain and risk which is posed by failing state firms, particularly ESCOM, and will do more to contain debt. Thank you for watching Business News Tonight. I am Kayode Okikiolu. It's back to you, Melinda.
And thanks, Kayode. Still ahead on the news at 10, new winners emerge as the 5th edition of the International Badminton Classics comes to an end today in